Good morning, good morning. My name is Mohadi Rametse. I am the CEO and the founder of KGB Services. Today I want us to talk about the people that criticize BEE. As they wake up, BEE is not working. B has failed. As they sleep, even in their dreams, they criticize BEE. Guys, let's be factual when we speak other things. You don't know where we come from as a country. You want to try and ignore the fact that in the country we still have imbalances. Equality is not there in our country. Before you can criticize, look at the facts. Guys, we've got over 81% of the population being black, and we've got 7% or so being colored, and we've got over 2% and something being Indians. So there's over 90% of the population. They were not treated fairly. They have not been given the equality that was supposed to be there many years ago. And BEE is trying to readdress those imbalances of the past. BEE is trying to alleviate poverty. BEE is trying to bring the moral justice and economic justice. And we want to ignore that fact. We can't. We cannot have less than 10% of the population owning 90% of the productive means. It cannot. It cannot. That is an imbalanced economy. And it's a, what do they call it? A time-ticking bomb. If we want to live in harmony in South Africa with each other, we need to make sure that the legislation that addresses the imbalances, it works. It has to work. I'm telling you, it has to work. If it's not going to work, we have problems, bigger problems than you think. Therefore, I'm submitting today to say the 90% of the population in South Africa needs to have a means of ownership. They need ownership. They need to own asset. We need to make sure that this 90%, they have their share in the economy. They have their share in the economy. One way or the other, we have to make sure of that fact. And this 10%, it doesn't want to develop black businesses. Man, something is not right. You want to sit at the corner and not develop the small businesses. Wow. And you think we will get it right? We will never get it right. Remember, we've got a stat that is coming from Treasury that says for our economy to grow, we need to make sure that small businesses are empowered. Because with small businesses empowered, that's where the employment opportunities are coming from. So therefore, the black small businesses and medium black businesses are the core of the economy. And who are those people in small and medium businesses? This is the 90% I'm talking about, 90% of the population. So we need to make sure that empowerment flows to them. That is the intention of BEE. The second part there of BEE that is trying to address is the skills development. We can't continue to have businesses that are not investing in skills development. We all know how skills development it is, the importance of skills development. If we want our industries to grow, we need to be involved in making sure that skills development in companies take place, and not as a tick box. It has to take place intentionally so. Businesses have to be decisive about the kind of critical skills that are going to be implemented in their workplace. We now have AI, which is good. But are we putting efforts in training our people? Because that's another thing. Are we putting efforts in making sure that our employment and labor force is fully equipped with the right skills? Because training cannot be by the way. Training, it must be part of the strategic planning. Because as you are planning training, you are planning the growth of the business. So you can't ignore the fact that training is important. And we cannot continue ticking box on learnerships that are not having impact. No. Now we must be, if we have to do like learnership, we have to be going to the drones and all those, the AI. The admin office, our admin office, let them study it at university. It's not going to be helping us in growing economy. We need critical skills in every industry, be in construction, be in financial services, be in forestry or agriculture, be in ICT. We need new skills altogether. And it's companies that are supposed to invest in those skills. One of the last things that I want to speak to. Can we have communities that are not invested in and we think we'll get it right? No. And I must say, something is coming to me now. You know, we have so many successes of BEE. When we look at the mining communities, when we look at the mining communities, we see that BEE has enabled them to gain one way or the other. You can come up with your loopholes there, it's fine. But I'm not there. I'm looking at the benefit to say, communities where mines are located, they benefited in terms of clinics, infrastructure, education, and all those things. There's more improvement where mines are located than ordinary communities where there are no mines. The education, the clinics, and all those things that I can count up to 100 is because mines were somehow forced to invest in the community. Whether they are investing in community right or wrong, but we see that there's a smaller improvement in those. And secondly, let me go back to the ownership. Secondly, we see that people that are having shares in companies like in mining, we see them improving their livelihood. If you look or read, you will understand that some of the mines gave or they continue to give their employees dividend. There's one in particular where the people at the bottom were earning 10,000 a month. They are able to get dividends of more than 350 at the end of the financial year. Tell me if that is not improving the life of a black child. Because if you're earning 120, you're going to get 350 and you're still going to get your bonus. No, you're able to build a house. The livelihood of your family changes. And people want to come here with no options of how to move forward as South Africa and continue to criticize and say, this is not working. What is working? If B is not working, what is working? Maybe let's talk about it. Give us alternatives. That B is not working, let's pack it. And let's have this to redress what has happened in the past. Because that question, we can never ignore. The fact that even today, the black and white, even in the employment, are not treated equally, we cannot ignore that fact. We know the superiority of white people in workplaces. And we cannot look aside as if that is not a fact. It's a fact. So therefore, we need BEE. It's important that we continue to have a legislation that is fast-tracking the growth of our economy. And as far as I'm concerned, BEE is one of those legislation that can help us grow the economy if implemented right. Don't tell me about those that are fronting. Don't tell me about those that are looking at the loopholes of the legislation. Let's talk about what is working and how can we enhance that is working. Thank you.